as we mark Nigeria at 63. How much celebration is left in the heart of Nigerians amid the hike of fuel price? Joining us to have the conversation this morning is Mr. Shodende Peters. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. Let us start with analyzing, the history, where we are coming from, the discovery of oil, the effect it has had on the economy. And when we started, while some analysts have said we cannot put a hand on it, and what I'm about to say is, how did we get to the point where we have corruption, this deep-rooted into the systems, and how it has undermined the development of Nigeria and of course consequently limits the country's development? Can you give us like a timeline, if you have it of course, and how you react to that conversation?
Okay, it's a loaded question actually. You want me to start from the history up to where we are today? That's about 63 years. And you want it in like 2 minutes. Okay. From the first day we started pumping out crude oil in Oloibiri to the 70s, where basically after the Civil War, when even the president then go on said the problem of Nigeria is not money, but how to spend it. As at then, we had a news headline like, how can Nigeria help the UK? We see countries like United Arab Emirates, Malaysia, China, everybody coming to Nigeria to want to pick one or two things or learn from us, how we are. Then, the Lagos Ibadan was about one of the very best infrastructure in the whole of Africa, to show you what money, especially oil money, did to Nigeria back then. And from all I gathered, I think it was when Awolowo was finance minister, and the president then was trying to give back to the people that we have so much money. How can we make every Nigerian benefit from this money? Because there's no way the money can touch each of their accounts. So Awolowo now said, okay, no problem. It is oil that is giving us money. Let us do subsidy on this fuel. When they buy it, everybody benefits. So that is where the journey of subsidy started from. So from then up till we got to democracy. And then we still had very good refineries. Once we refine our products, we sell at local markets. We've had oil at 2 naira 50 kobo, up until what we have today. Even under the military years, we were still having fuel, I think about 45 or 80. I did about 45 or between 45 and 85 naira. I can't pinpoint now, because I know, no, not up to 85, because it was Buhari that moved from 85 to 187. So during the military Abacha years, I think we left it at 40 something naira. I'm very sure. So going into the topic, how corruption came into it, and you see, the corruption started from when, will I say, the leadership of the country or the civil servants made sure that our refineries went aground. Subsidy is just like somebody trying to make life easy for you, like a gift. It was supposed to be a temporary gift. But along the line, it has become a major source of income for some people, especially the big players. We call them the oligarchs of the economy. They found out that from this subsidy, we can rake in a whole lot. How do we do it? What we need to do is to make sure that the refineries are down. Once the refineries don't work, we will create our own refineries elsewhere, or we have relationship with foreign refineries. Then we begin to bring in the products. When we bring in the products, the money in between, we make it for ourselves. Rather than the subsidy goes into local refinery here, the subsidy now comes to us as businessmen. That is the genesis of the corruption. You can imagine between 2021 and 2022, subsidy payment moved from 1.4 trillion to about 3.2 trillion, just within 1 year. Did we triple the number of cars in this country? Did we buy ×3 of the generators we have? Of course, you will see that politicians have taken advantage of it. We could hear the former Minister of Aviation, Issa Yuguda, said one of the beneficiaries of subsidy payment said, tell Buhari, we are tired of this money. It is too much. They should scrap it. So, the corruption came when we lost 4 refineries in this country. So there was no option than to import. And when you import, of course, you don't want people to pay the price we are paying now. So the government is subsidizing. Where does the subsidy go? It goes to private businessmen. If what they bring into the country is just for Nigerians alone, it's like better. Part of what they bring, they also smuggle to other countries. So you find Nigeria subsidizing for so many neighboring countries. When Nigeria removes subsidy, you could see protests in Cameroon, protests in Niger Republic, everywhere. Why are you worried about Nigeria? Because yes, they get cheap fuel from here. Up till now, they still get the cheap fuel.
All right, because we're looking at how, you know, this situation has undermined the development of the country, especially in the parts of infrastructure. Even before the refineries went aground, we still had lots of, you know, backlog of things that are supposed to be that are not, and there were complaints at the time. What was the challenge? Why weren't Nigerians, even as at then, I don't even want to talk about now because it's worse, getting the dividends of democracy? I'm talking about in the education sector, in the infrastructure, you know, in the civil service, and, you know, these parastatals not getting what is deserving. What was wrong? Is it the lack of will or the lack of, you know, resources?
Okay, let me take it from there. You see, Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria used to be like the light of Africa. So we were giant of Africa, not by name. Then it was by resources and by infrastructure that we had. Nigeria Airways could boast then of about not less than 50 aircraft in its fleet. Same for Nigeria National Shipping Line. We had ships in this country. In terms of we outsourced professors outside. We have people in our justice system that go to other countries to be their chief justice. So all these things, we had them. Nigeria was doing very well. In terms of cocoa, then we were still practicing regional government, and a whole lot of the economy was still small to manage. You manage yourself in silos, not this type of presidential system that we practice. So we know where we are coming from. If you look at Nigeria in some days ago, I saw a receipt of a cement, 3,700 and something, a trailer load. Cement was 20 naira. I remember when I was still a young boy, my dad used to stock cement. I had sold cement for 20 naira in this country. That same cement sold for 5,000 something today, and they are trying to bring the price to 3,000 something. I used to tell people my school fees when I was in secondary school was 35 naira. In the university, I paid 500 naira for school fees in this same country. So to tell you, it's not as if we started badly. It was in between. You see, will I say military incursion into governance also was a major problem, because the military couldn't keep up with a whole lot of things. For example, education. The military didn't believe so much in wasting money, because education does not bring money to you. You really spend and spend. That is when you saw ASU strike started, a whole lot of things. So military just look at defense, how we can defend ourselves, and what brings money, oil. Every other sector, we don't care. So when the politicians came, rather than take Nigeria to where it is supposed to be among the Committee of Nations, you know, we took independence together with people like China, people like India, Malaysia, UAE. Where are we today? Because when the politicians took over, it's over 24 years now. You hardly can you see any positive movement from what the military had done. We still have only the third mainland, built by Babangida. How many years ago? We have not had any major bridge of that kilometer done in this in 24 years. To show you that government that comes is most times stories, and you see a whole lot of money going down the drain. So unless we break down this structure, this federal structure that we practice, whereby one man is at the center deciding what happens everywhere, that exposes all of us to whatever happens or to what one man. See what Buhari had done with us for 8 years. 240 million Nigerians. You now have about 140 million in multi-dimensional poverty. When you talk about multi-dimensional poverty, you're talking about little or no access to education, little or no access to health, little or no access to food, little or no access to shelter, little or no access to clothing, little or no access to security, and little or no access to environment. So what is left? So we have not even fared better under this democracy. And the type of government we run encourages corruption. So there's no way we can continue running this type of government and expect a change to happen very soon. It won't happen.